Right guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Baz and this is WELDERFABBER, and this is our last day in Northern Ireland at Fox Contracts. So we thought we'd just do a little video for you today on this little crack in this dipper, on this cat, as this mild steel meets the casting. Very unusual, but these guys have seen it a few times before on these particular machines, this actual model itself. So what we'll do, we'll get the arcer out, gouge that out, and just see if you can see it, Cal. See if you can see how far back the crack goes. I usually like to drill a hole at the end of the crack, but it's hard to tell if it finishes there or if it's behind the paint continuing to travel up. It's hard to tell, but we might have a bit more of a better idea when we tuck into it. We've got a bucket here that we're just going to finish off that we started yesterday. We have got a ferry to catch at 3 o'clock, so it means we've got to leave here at 12, so we've got 3.5 hours. Couple of wear strips and a new edge. This is going on a rubber duck, so the bucket needs to keep the weight down, keep it nice and weight light. And I think it might be on a tilt as well. So yeah, two little things that we got going on. So let's get the Shindawa fired up. Always turn everything off before you start an engine. You don't want the engine revving up. Plenty of preheat, and we can't wait to get the new 400 in the van when we get home. Let's get cracking.
strip all the way up now. See it there? All the way.
Yeah.
So now we're going back to everything.
So that weld there, that weld really is too far over that way. There's too much onto the casting rather than split 50-50. It's more like 70-30. More like 70-30 to that. Looking at that. Just tidy a little bit grinder, a nice little bit of preheat, and a little vertical welding there, nice and easy. Just got an edge sacked on this bucket. What you want to look for when you're putting an edge on, the main thing you've got to look for when you're putting an edge on is that edge runs in line with that pin. You should always look down, get your eye down it, down there, and make sure that's in line with that pin. Also, the bottom of the bucket wants to be flush with that edge there, so you've no lip. There's a bit of a fisheye lens on the camera, so it might look a little bit bored, but that will be flush there on the inside, and it is bang on in line with that top pin. Many buckets repairs I've seen in the past where people don't line that up with the top pin, so when they come to tuck in the ground, especially when you're grading back, it's off a mile. So what I'm doing now, I'm just making the bucket floor level with the edge on the inside by dogging it up and down in certain spots, just make it nice and level. If you ever tack a dog on like this, always knock your wedge in on the side of your tacks. Otherwise it'll just peel it off. That's it. So if we look there at the end of the rulers, see that little hole? That's the backing strip there that's put behind that, and that's the edge of it. Or it could be the edge of the casting, depending on how that casting has been prepped before that's been welded. But that weld is definitely too much to that side. It should be more this way, so it's more central from that to that. So it looks like it has been a bit of a thing with these dippers, because it's happened quite a few times, especially here at Fox Contracts.
Right, so I've just put a bit of preheat on that now. I'm going to be doing vertical weld, so I've got the set roughly quite low. For what I found on that is if you go 232 on the settings on the scoring with 1.2 wire, it seems to run pretty perfectly. So, right, I'm going to put first root run in, and we'll grind it back between each pass. Happy with that? So I've just put my root in there. I've just ground that edge off, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of weld just to try and get that more flush, so I can do the rest of the cap in one pass. We're using 1.2 solid wire. I have quite enjoyed doing the dual shield, but since we're inside, and I'm quite happy, everything's set up, so we'll just continue with this. So I've just filled that up a little bit more now. I'm going to put a grind right up the centre, just to give me something to follow, so when I do my weave, and I can tie into both sides of the joint then. And then that'll be that procedure finished. job done.
So our jobs here at Northern Ireland have now come to an end, and we're just about to start our journey home. 10-12 hours. We're just wrapped up. We finished the little bucket and the dipper. So this was a little short video. If you like shorter videos like this, with a little bit more explanation, let us know in the comments and we'll do whatever you guys want. Your feedback does always help us build these videos how you want them. All right, so I'd just like to say a big thanks to Fox Contracts, and once again, paid in full. So let's go and catch that ferry, and if you're new to the channel, you might want to go and check out a couple of previous videos that we've done filming here. We have done quite a bit of work within this 5 days that we've been here. So yeah, cheers guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.